CM Punk with the ring jacket harkening back to his days in Ring of Honor. As referee Paul Turner calls for the bell, and we are off to the races in London.
Boy, this should really be good. I can tell you that right now. There's 80,000 folks here that think so too.
Does seem as though the majority of people here are favoring Samoa Joe. I wonder whether that might get in the head of CM Punk.
Or it might motivate him. He's a different cat, man. It's hard to put a finger on exactly what's in his head sometimes.
Swing and a miss by Samoa Joe. That's where CM Punk is going to have the advantage, JR, the speed on Samoa Joe. Joe, obviously, with the power.
Absolutely. That's a good analogy. It comes down to really those two things. Punk's got to avoid the big hits, and Samoa Joe has got to score on the big hits.
And Nigel, having been in the ring with both men, who has the technical advantage? I mean, Joe, known as the Samoan submission machine, but CM Punk, he's got that Anaconda Vice in his back pocket.
Yeah, both of these men have both hard-hitting maneuvers and submissions as well. We want to talk about technique, talk about the MMA background. There's a big smile lapping it up on the face of CM Punk.
He thinks he got one over on Joe.
And Samoa Joe, I mean, he has been bitter. He has been revenge-minded ever since the loss in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And and now I think Punk is trying to bait Joe into making a mistake.
Knife-edge chops are not tradable in the world of CM Punk. Joe's going to beat him at that game, I think.
Punk snatches the side headlock.
I still can't believe that CM Punk has a smile on his face when he's in the ring with a monster like Samoa Joe.
Perhaps Punk is thinking that he has won the psychological game already.
Yeah, good luck on that theory.
Oh, and Joe, there's the power coming into play, but Punk, tight side headlock, not letting go.
He holds on to CM Punk, shows great concentration. And Samoa Joe backing out of this transaction. At least trying to.
Joe, hold on a second.
Oh, that hurt over here. Right in front of us.
And Punk trying to retreat to the relative safety of the ring, but oh my,
that hurt me.
Hammering the chest of Punk.
There we go.
The so-called real world champion.
Oh no.
Well, like we said, they know each other very well. Smart that Punk moved when he did, or he would be dead meat. El Dedo Mito.
Joe was looking to crush CM Punk against the barricade here at ringside, and Punk seizing on Joe's return to the ring.
Nice
the advantage.
I'm curious as to how much those little jabs hurt Joe.
Yeah, not a lot, but those strikes from Samoa Joe, every one of them rattling the body of CM Punk.
Yeah, that'll knock the fillings out of your teeth.
CM Punk teeter-tottering on the middle rope, courtesy of Samoa Joe. Those chops and the headbutt.
And the headbutt, one of my favorite offensive weapons to call. It's, I think, very effective. Both these guys are using the headbutt. They're pressed into action.
Nigel, you felt the sting of those chops. It's not just the sting, it drives the oxygen out of your lungs.
Yeah, it makes it very hard to breathe. But, wait a second. Joe, famous for moving on the crossbody, but this time...
Oh, Joe landed on his head. Samoa Joe landed right on his head, it looked to me like.
CM Punk, one move ahead. As Gordon Sully called it, the human game of chess. CM Punk takes the advantage.
As Punk now... Oh, no! Home for Punk that time.
Joe missed him. They missed each other on that trip. They didn't get their connection. Oh, I
those of you that don't speak Cockney rhyming slang, he was calling him a merchant banker.
Oh, we get right in front of us. Oh, Jesus, rhyming. Samoa Joe's having some fun, fellas.
And CM Punk certainly is not.
Indeed.
Love him. God, Joe's turned it up a notch or two.
And now it's Samoa Joe, Nigel, with a smile on his face.
Turning things around, certainly, but we are here, fellas, in Wembley Stadium, and it's hard to convey the magnitude of this stadium.
It breaks a count, which is a nice thing.
Joe, right shoulder driven in. to the steel ring post, the squared off steel ring post. And now Punk up to the apron, looking for the Huracan.
Oh, look at Punk. Punk up.
Oh!
Good God almighty.
It's come through!
CM
Punk has come through the table!
has just been driven through the table here on the floor.
I think he went head first. I'm not sure.
I thought that was the front of the table that hit me in the leg. It was CM Punk.
It was CM Punk's body as Samoa Joe.
Man, Punk hit hard. Right.
Oh no,
Head.
Punk is busted open.
Oh, God.
His head crashing through the table
Oh, no.
at our feet, and now Joe targeting the laceration with the jab.
We knew it would be physical, fellas. We knew it would be physical, but I never dreamed it would be this physical. These are two studs. Ain't going to take a step backwards, I can tell you that.
Well, we said that Samoa Joe might taste revenge. Now it's Punk tasting his own blood.
Now the taste of iron in the mouth.
And the last thing that Joe wants, Excalibur, is to win by countout or something. Either guy, those are both guys.
Samoa Joe in this match with a point to prove.
And a title to win, the real world's title. You've got to believe that Samoa Joe is offended. He believes that he is the champion of TV as the Ring of Honor World TV champion.
The most dominant Ring of Honor World Television champion of all time is CM Punk, though, back up to his feet. Elbowing, battering Joe now. Joe struck him with a back elbow.
Joe is dominating. His physical, his size, his power, those advantages are leading Joe right perhaps tonight to the promised land before over 80,000 fans.
Look at the poise and the pace. Here's the cover.
Far leg is hooked. Punk able to kick out at one. And Nigel, with the blood running down the face of CM Punk, with the punishment that Joe has inflicted, and then the adrenaline of competing in front of more than 80,000 fans. This has got to be a terrible situation for Punk.
It's a tough situation for Punk, certainly. He's going to have to now, perhaps, switch any strategy. You can see there's not a lot of mustard behind those shots, to your earlier point, JR. He's not going to compete with Samoa Joe when it comes to strikes.
Yeah, and strikes of that nature just aren't going to come back. Oh, man. Combat Samoa Joe, who's showing he's got plenty left in the tank with that head kick.
Yeah, that reaping enziguri of Samoa Joe. One of the hallmarks is you could see the blood leaving CM Punk's head, spattering the mat here at center pitch of Wembley Stadium.
One of the most iconic stadiums in the world. This is Britain's stadium.
Saw a lot of the Olympics from here.
That's right, every FA Cup final. It has transcended sport, though. Live Aid in 1985. Every Rolling Stones concert. Hold on a second.
Joe has let his guard down somewhat. There's an inverted atomic drop.
Joe comes in, the high boot.
Joe's back here ready to fight Excalibur. This is the thing about him.
Samoa Joe sits out the senton, 300 plus pounds, crashing down and...
I think Samoa Joe sensed that he had taken the lowered the steam, lowered the heat. And now he's got the mindset, to hell with that. I'm going to turn up the burners.
He is ready to cook a meal worthy of a king. But Joe's pace is excellent at this point. No wasted motion whatsoever.
None.
Tight bursts of speed, which combined with his size is extremely hard to stop.
Beleaguered CM Punk struggling to his feet. Joe continues the punishment with the chops. Now maybe thinking muscle buster.
You just wonder how long Punk can continue to receive these
Oh, here he goes.
Well,
these
if Joe
hits.
hits this, it's over.
Oh, but Punk, I mean, he slipped out, but not graciously, but still found his foot.
Instinctively got a hit shot in. Did CM Punk.
Now the roundhouse kick, dropping the Samoan submission machine to the mat.
Punk trained in MMA under the legendary striking coach Duke Rufus, so that kick had some pepper behind it.
You have to drop an athlete like Samoa Joe with a roundhouse kick, JR. That is a monumental feat in and of itself.
You got all of it. Great timing, great acceleration, great impact. This comes from practice, practice, practice. Talking about practice.
Both the real world's champion and the challenger beating the 10 count. Punk coming in, shoulder tackle, multiple shoulder tackles.
Look at Joe get back up. That's the issue the Punk's got to deal with. And the fans here, they have invested emotionally, have they not?
CM Punk drops the leg, the cover.
Oh no!
Samoa Joe kicked out violently.
CM Punk was making a mockery of the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And now it's Joe that's going to come crashing down on top of CM Punk.
It's still anybody's ball game here. Punk bleeding, been beat up, and now Samoa Joe pulls a page out of his memory book.
Punk reverses, elbow strike, accelerates into the rope. Power slam!
What a throw!
2 and no.
What a throw by Samoa Joe Pro Wrestling, and now look at this.
Transition, but Punk had Joe's shoulders pinned to the mat. Joe had to abandon ship on the Jujikatami.
Well, the big difference between MMA and... Hold on a second!
The incoming knee strike countered. 2 and Punk kicks out, but Joe anticipates
Joe
it.
was waiting on that.
Transitions over into the STF. Punk in the deep waters, Nigel.
And now for CM Punk, can you imagine how ignominious it would be to tap out? But what will have to be the final match between these two.
And JR, think about this. Punk, if he wants to make the crawl to the ropes, not only does he have to carry his own body weight, but he's got to carry 300 plus pounds of Joe. But no, the roll up. Again, Joe forced to abandon ship.
I say good luck on that theory, but you're right.
The roundhouse.
Again, Joe went down quickly on that kick. If I'm CM Punk now,
Gotta
I'd stick to this.
Yeah, you should go for the cover, Nigel. That was a great hit, great head kick.
And it looks like Joe is out.
Yeah,
barely
referee Paul
moving.
Turner. He's checking. He's looking deep into the eyes of Samoa Joe.
Pulls him away from the bottom rope, so Joe can't hold it.
Clean shot here. What's Punk gonna do? He's staying away from the
Spinning
inside.
toe hold.
An homage, perhaps, to the late great Terry Funk.
Most certainly is, as Samoa Joe.
Spinning toe hold. God bless Terry Funk.
Oh, Joe trying to pull Punk into the cradle.
down.
2 and no. CM Punk, he left his head hanging for Samoa Joe to grab, pull him into a pinning predicament. But Punk now with the advantage, drops the knee pad.
Second time he's looked for it.
Likes that rising knee strike in the corner, but ST Joe.
Too big, too strong. The veteran knew what was happening.
0 for 2. And Samoa Joe may be ready to put this away. He's known for the rear native choke, or the Japanese Sandman, as fans of Dr. Jerry Graham might know it. But instead, no, looking for the Muscle Buster again.
The Muscle Buster. The ace in the hole for
Why
Samoa
not? It
Joe.
works. Right, Excalibur, it works.
It certainly does. Joe knows that. That's why he's looking. Oh, but Punk spilling to the apron.
It's been a very physical matchup from the very, very beginning.
It certainly has, and now Joe with CM Punk. What was he thinking? Avalanche Brainbuster.
They seem to both be looking for one big move. And I don't know if that's the strategy.
Sheer desperation there by CM Punk. Biting at the head.
Oh, Wembley doesn't like it.
The down man.
Oh, but
biting.
CM Punk now looking for the Pepsi plunge.
Joe face first.
The
There's a cover.